Hello Stampers, it's Amy from Stampin Magic, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and today I have for you another Crafty Christmas countdown project. We're going to be making a really simple and quick and easy idea. You've probably seen loads of these online. These are called sour cream containers, and this is using the Christmas Around the World Designer Series paper. It's really fun, and let's get started. So really minimal supplies. You will need some Designer Series paper. I'll put the measurements for these on my blog, so don't worry about that for now. And you can make it any kind of size, so you don't need to follow the exact same size. I did use the circle thinlits to put out in Very Vanilla and Cherry Cobbler in the scalloped, just so we can put our sentiment on there. Normally how I'd do this is I'd stamp the sentiment, then cut it out, but just for quickness for the video I've done it in advance, so let's hope I can get my sentiment centered. You will need a diamante or any embellishment you want really, but that's what I'll be using, and you'll need some ribbon, and this is the double stitched ribbon, which I really love. It's in Cherry Cobbler, so it goes with the colours that are in the DSP, and you've got kind of like this kind of horizontal stitch and then a cross stitch. Ink pads you'll need for your sentiment. I'm going to be using chocolate chip, and I'm going to be changing it up slightly, so it's not going to look exactly like this, a little bit different, so I'm going to be using some Tranquil Tide for that. And for the sentiment I've used the Oh What a Fun stamp set. Adhesives you'll need Tombow, some dimensionals and some tear and tape. Okay, so bringing in my main piece, I'm going to be getting some tear and tape down. So we need to put it on one side. Like so. And you get your bone folder and make sure that's really burnished so it's easier to get up. And one of the longer sides. If you are wanting to make one that kind of adheres shut rather than just popping it open, you'd want to put another one along here. Okay, let's do the shorter side first because that will make our tube. Okay, and then this just goes onto the outside. Ooh, if I can get it straight. Like so. So you're making a tube. Okay. Okay, then what you want to do is you need to peel off the inside of the tube. And then push it down, so push it in and push it flat so it meets. And then you get your bone folder and just burnish that closed. Now this one, if you've got the line going this way, you want to close the bottom one in the other direction. So at the moment you can see it's like this, and we've got our flat going this way. You want to do and pinch that in like so, and that will make our sour cream shape. If you do want to adhere it close, you need to put your treats, whatever treats you have. I've only got these on to hand, so I'm just doing that to show you. You want to put them in first, and then you'll have the tear and tape on the inside here. Take that off and do exactly the same as what we've done for this one, and then that will be closed shut. And then the only way they can get into it is by ripping it open. But we're not going to do that. So I'm going to bring in my scoreboard and line up the bottom. And sour cream packets have those kind of corrugated-y look on the bottom. So we're just going to, if I can get it to work, we're just going to do that along the bottom there. This isn't the best scoreboard, but I will invest in a Stampin' Up! One eventually. Okay, and then just do that. And I like to fold it back and forth slightly, and then you get, I don't know if you can see there, that kind of lined pattern you find on sour cream containers. And then we need to do the same with this, even though it's not glued shut. And just do 2 lines. If you want to do them narrow and more closer together, you can, but 2 lines is fine, and that helps actually keep it closed. So if you want to put your chocolates in first, that's fine, and then all you have to do is pop that open, close it back up, and that's perfectly fine. That's going to stay close enough for you to put whatever you want in there. Now, for the sentiment, we're going to do this next. I have picked out the Ho Ho Ho, and this time I'm going to be using this little kind of holly, just to give it a little something different. So for the holly, I'm going to do that first. I'm going to do it in Tranquil Tide. And place that towards the bottom. And with the Ho Ho Ho, I'm only going to want 2. So I'm inking up 2 of them. Oh, don't want it in green. You're going to need to change it to chocolate chip. You can have it in green if you want, but I want it in chocolate chip. So change to chocolate chip first and then ink up. And then I'm going to ink up 1 more. And put that near the top. And then we're done with our Stampin', so we're going to put this away. Right, now this, I want to stick to this, so I'm going to be using some Tombow for that. Now if you get stuck of what colours to use, if you're not sure what will go with your designer series paper, just look at what is listed in the colours. So Stampin' Up! Always lists the colours on the pack when it arrives to you, but it's also on the website, so you'll know what kind of colours will go with your DSP. Now this one actually has Garden Green. I don't have any Garden Green ink, so I'm using Tranquil Tide, which is a close match, not quite but close. But I know this has some Cherry Cobbler, so that's why I've picked this here. This is very vanilla, so I've used that instead of Whisper White. And you've got some browns in here, which is like soft suede. And I've chose to use chocolate chip just because it's like the darker one. I don't always like to use black for sentiments. So that will go on there like that. And I know that will match pretty decently. So that's how you know how to match it to your DSP. So I'm just going to add a little diamante to one side on this one. Okay, so leave that to one side for a second. And I'm going to bring in a punch. The punch I have is quite small, which isn't really ideal for the ribbon, but it'll be perfect if you're using twine. So I'm just going to use my single regular sized punch and pop it in the top, so it's kind of like that line that I've scored there will be in the centre of it. It doesn't really matter where it goes, it's just to hang it up or just to add a little bit of decoration. So I'm going to feed this through. Tie a knot. You can tie a bow if you want to tie a bow. I'm happy with a knot. And I'm just going to neaten up the edges by giving them a little bit of a trim. Okay, and the last thing we're going to do is we're going to pop this up on dimensionals onto here. So I'm just going to grab 2 dimensionals. For the last sour cream container I stuck the Very Vanilla up on dimensionals on here and then stuck this down. But the ones I've made in the past, I find it's kind of easier with the shape of it to just use dimensionals on the main panel. That is our sour cream container, and this is the other one. So super quick, super simple, fantastic for stocking fillers, advent calendars, or to replace Christmas crackers. And there we have them. So if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe. The link to my blog and Facebook page are in the description bar below. Happy crafting, bye!